Hello everyone and welcome back to the Vista Driving School channel. My name is Jackson and I'm a driving instructor based in Ireland, and today we're going to talk about the topic of roundabouts. It's one of the most confusing parts about learning to drive, so if you struggle with roundabouts, make sure you stay until the end of the video, and any comments or questions that you have, drop them below. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop us a like because it goes such a long way for a smaller channel. And we're trying to grow as much as we can this year. Okay, so first of all, let's cover what is a roundabout. A roundabout is a circular junction where the traffic flows in one direction and it's there to facilitate the flow of traffic. A key rule to remember is that traffic already on the roundabout has priority. That means you must always yield to vehicles coming from your right. And really quickly, if you want to get one step closer to passing the Irish driving test, make sure to check out our ebook, Mastering the Irish Driving Test. It covers absolutely everything you need to know to pass the exam and everything the tester is looking for. We've got every single road sign in there. It covers hand signals. It has video demonstrations of every single maneuver. And it's only €10. That's the craziest bit. We've helped so far over 5,500 learner drivers with this ebook. So if you want to check it out, links down in the description. So before you even enter a roundabout, your lane position is super important. The main rule I like to teach my students is the golden rule of roundabouts. And that means you read the roundabout like a clock. So 12 is in front of you and you're always coming from the 6th position. So on a common roundabout like the one you can see on the screen here, if your exit is to the left of 12 o'clock, use the left lane position and a left signal at some point. If your exit is to the right of 12 o'clock, you use the right lane position with a right signal and then a left signal when leaving. Now let's be honest, not all roundabouts look this way. This is a nice and easy one to remember. Roundabouts come in all different shapes and sizes. But the golden rule can be used towards any roundabout, and that's why I teach it to all my students. Another thing that a lot of learner drivers get confused by is roundabouts that look like this. So for instance, if we're taking the first exit on this roundabout, we're gonna signal left. Now you might be thinking, why are we signaling left when we're going straight ahead? The reason that we're signaling left is because we're still on a roundabout and that's still an exit. So we're letting people know we're taking the first exit by signaling left on approach. If there was a car waiting on the other side that we had priority over, they then know that they can enter the roundabout as they're not going to obstruct us. You always need to communicate as clearly as you can to other drivers what you're intending to do. Another confusing one is with this diagram here. A lot of my students and a lot of learner drivers in general get confused as to when to signal for the second exit. So as you can see, we have a first exit on the left and then second exit straight ahead. So again, we're approaching with the left lane position, but we're going to hit our left signal once we pass the first exit. If we signal too early, we're going to get a misleading signal mark. And also, if there was somebody waiting at that exit, seeing if we were going to go straight through or not, if we signal too early, they might try to enter the roundabout too early and it could cause a collision. So we wait until we get around the halfway point of passing the first exit, and then we left mirror and left signal out. Then drivers know we're taking the second exit. Now, if you're going right around the roundabout, so say for instance on this type of roundabout, you're going to take the third exit. As you can see here, we signal when we pass the second exit. A good way to remember this is you always signal at the exit previous to the one you want to take. So if you want to take the third exit, you signal as you pass the second exit. If you want to take the second exit, you signal as you pass the first. It lets people know again where we're going and in good time. Now let's go back to one of these more awkward little mini roundabouts. A lot of people get confused with these ones because they're saying, well, if I came from this entrance here and they're on my right, I'm technically also on their right, and then there's another right beside me. As my mom taught me, who is also a driving instructor, if you have two people on your right and one is slightly on your right but one is on your hard right, you give right of way to the person on your hard right. It's always good to try and think of it from a bird's eye view perspective. As you can see here, I'm on their right and they have no other option as to who's on their right. Whereas for me, even though they're ever so slightly technically on my right, the other person is on my hard right. And if we go around, we can see that this person gives right of way to them, I give right of way to them, and they give right of way to them. It keeps it flowing nice and simple. Now let's talk about approaching roundabouts and what to do. So as you approach a roundabout, you want to check your mirrors, signal early, and choose your position based on your exit. Good positioning makes everything so much easier. You also want to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to do everything you need to do before you get to the roundabout. A good technique to use is mirror, signal, position, speed, and look, also known as MSPSL. If you give yourself enough distance that once you see the junction, you start going through the letters, it just means by the time you get to the roundabout, everything you need to do is done, and all you got to do is try to get through it smoothly. So on approach, you check your mirror, you hit your signal, you get your position, you bring your speed down to second gear speed, and you have a look to make sure it's safe for you to enter the roundabout. If not, you come to a stop. A common mistake I see people make is they leave everything till the last minute, which leads to them panicking and most likely missing out on something they needed to do and getting a mark. Then once you get to the roundabout, you want to slow it down, have a look, and only enter once it's safe to do so. Don't rush in, wait for a safe gap, and even if you're waiting there for ages and you don't get a safe gap, if you try to throw yourself in where it wasn't safe to go, you're gonna get a mark. The tester will know when you have a safe gap or not, even if it means you have to wait for a couple of minutes. Sometimes it's just busy and you have to wait. Once you're on a roundabout, you want to stay within your lane, you don't want to drift between lanes, and you want to keep an eye out for other drivers that might be making a mistake or might be braking harshly. Awareness is key, especially with this part of driving. So as you approach your exit, you want to check your mirrors, you want to hit your signal, and you want to move safely over towards your exit. And then of course, exit nice and smoothly. A key thing to remember is you never want to cut across lanes at the last second. That's how really bad accidents happen. If you missed your exit, don't panic, just go around again and then exit once it's safe. Now let's go over some common mistakes made on roundabouts. Not yielding right of way, incorrect signaling, poor lane position, cutting across lanes, and hesitating too much or being overly aggressive, which just means going in when it wasn't safe to do so, or not going in when it was safe to do so. If you can avoid these mistakes, you'll be ahead of most drivers already. Roundabouts can be pretty intimidating, but once you understand the rules of them, you'll start to fly through them and you can actually realize that they're one of the safest and most efficient types of junctions. So if you found this video helpful, please make sure to drop us a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this, and also drop a comment about what topics you want me to cover in regards to the Irish driving test. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.